as you go by.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is that the walking on water then?
Yes, I remember the chariot rides and the bathhouses in my previous life, and it was very interesting then. But somehow or other in this life, they're not cheering me and bowing to me and doing all the...
You look like a Roman emperor.
We're bowing for you, Dad, just so you remember what it felt like.
Yes! That brought back my memories. Thank you.
Okay.
By the thousands.
Keep imagining, Dad.
Oh, it was a marvelous life. But I realized I shouldn't have had so many concubines. I don't think it was fair to my 10 wives.
We'll leave that out of the film. We'll do the
Right, you know, and all that kind of stuff, and my 35 children, and all these other quirks that I decided as an emperor to endow on myself. But it really is nice to come back and see that. Oh, and look at that path over there. I remember coming down there with my chariot right down the middle. All kinds of adoration. And yes. But fortunately, I guess when you get into this world and find the right woman and only one wife, wonderful children and grandchildren, you're satisfied. You're blessed. So the two worlds were blessed in two different ways. So I've had two blessed lives.
You're a lucky guy,
Thank you,
as we said before.
Yes, thank you very, very much.
Well, it's all of your doing, so you should thank yourself then.
Well, I didn't. What did you say?
All of your doing, so you should thank yourself.
Well, I wanted to be modest and not claim that. No, but it's true. My wife was an innocent 16-year-old when I met her. She was a freshman at the University of Miami when I was a senior. And she, no tricks, no phoniness, you know, no baloney. And total innocence. And that, for me, who I was determined to be, you know, really this and this and this and this and this, and really, you know, it was different, totally different than any of the girls that I had met. And that attracted me, I guess. Well, when I graduated, she finished her freshman year, and I asked her to marry me, and then, of course, her father lived in Miami, and I asked him, and he gave me 3 reasons why she cannot marry his daughter. She has to graduate college. I got to make $100 a week, and many of the people in those days were making $50, $60, whatever. Anyway, and he wanted his oldest daughter, Clara, to get married first. She was a senior at the University of Chicago. Well, about 4 months later, we eloped. And I knew that I could not ever tell him that I had eloped with his daughter and already married her. So she doubled down. She was, at 18, she was a senior at the University of Miami. And she really was a brilliant student. And she met this great guy and really wanted to be married to him. And so then when, in November, she went up to her father and said, "Daddy, I'd like to have my religious ceremony in December. I'm graduating in June, and I promise I'll graduate." And then he said, "Okay." So we have 2 wonderful anniversaries of doing. But Jackie is a girl, is a woman, no phoniness. I mean, she is just there to help. And but the wonderful thing that I love about my wife is that she has learned how to get things done over the telephone. When I retired at 43. I wanted my daughters and my wife to be very strong and make all the calls and make all the determination and make the arrangements. And it really did work. And like, for example, Jackie, she calls a corporation of trying to get something, she'll only speak to the CEO. Why? The underlings will always say, the rules are the CEO who makes the rules. What can I do for you, my dear? And it's amazing. I mean, everybody calls Jackie. They want to, if they're having trouble getting things done.
I'm a good problem solver.
Yeah, Jackie's the problem solver, and I admire that about her, and how strong she has gotten with the beginnings of her innocence and type of being. Jackie will never lie. She'll never, whatever, and wonderful, loving wife.
When I first met my husband, I saw him before he saw me walking in the halls the first week of my second semester as a freshman at the University of Miami. And I thought, he's very handsome. I hope I get to meet him. And about a week later, I was in a student office, government office, and he came in to see a friend, and that friend, she introduced us, and then he asked me out. And we immediately fell in love, and have really been in love ever since.
You said that you had like 2 marriage ceremonies.
Oh, well, first of all, he asked me to marry him the following November, Thanksgiving. He came down. He was going to NYU graduate school, and he came down to see me. And he asked me to get married, and I said, you have to talk to my father. And my father said, well, there's 3 reasons you can't marry Jackie. She has to graduate from college, her sister has to get married first, and you have to make $100 a week. So we eloped on May 27th. We actually were planned to go 2 times before, but I kept getting the flu. And it was our 3rd time that we tried that we got to go to Washington, D.C., because Al had a friend who was a lawyer, and he found out, I was only 18, that we could go there and I could get married without parents' consent, without a waiting period. Usually it's a 3-day waiting period. So we went, and I told my father, could I visit a friend of mine who was at Gainesville, University of Florida, and since I didn't go away to college, I would like to go away for 3 days. So he let me go, and it was arranged that if he called me at my friend's, my friend would say I was out, but he never did call. So then we went to the lawyer's office to get married, and when we got there, they said, oh, you'll have to wait. There's someone to be married ahead of you, and you have to wait there first. So we waited 10 or 15 minutes, and we were pacing the floor, and finally they said, okay, you go ahead and get married. They'll have to wait. They're late. We go in, and the judge doesn't say, hi, how's my friend Dave? Did you have a nice trip? Nothing. He opens the book, and he says the ceremony in 2 minutes, and closes the book. They open the door, the next couple is there, and we're practically pushed out the door. He doesn't say, have a nice life, nothing. We go outside, and Al looks at me and he says, Jackie, what's the matter? You have a very funny look on your face. I said, I don't feel married. So then we were seeing each other. His parents had a home up north and in Miami Beach. We would go to his house in Miami Beach to have some privacy. And then when they came back, we had to go to a hotel, but he couldn't register me because if my father found out, my father knew everyone, he would kill us. So I took a lot of credits very fast. I got through college. I was a freshman at 16. I met Al when I was 17, and I graduated. I was a senior at 18, and so a month before December, I said to my father, let me get married. I promise I'll graduate in June. He said, okay. So then we got married, and we never told my parents. We told Al's mother, who loved us and loved me, And she got very upset and insulted and offended because we hadn't confided in her, so we said, we're not telling anyone else.
And 6 months after Jackie and I got married, the religious ceremony, got married in December, in June or July of the following summer, she got polio. And our dream of having 4 children was just about going out the window, because we were told that usually when you have polio and you get pregnant, you're in bedridden and this, and through much of the 9 months you're in bed and you've got this and that. And when that happens, that's the only child, or if it's born, that you can have. So Jackie got pregnant with her first child and sailed through it clearly. Second daughter, third daughter, the fourth daughter, Diana, our youngest. Everything they said was going to happen to Jackie happened. And more. But fortunately, the baby was healthy, but Jackie really had some, and we could not have any more, but we had our 4 blessed, desired children. Well, we have always believed in family. Family is number 1, 2, and 3 of our lives. It turned out that all 4 of our daughters lived in Miami with their lives and husbands and whatever the thing was. It all had been of that way. If we would have a birthday party, all the cousins got to meet each other and love each other and kiss each other and be close together, to be very close. And that was our dream, to have such a family. And with that filling of our dream, to have 4 children and a large family, and then to be blessed where they all lived in Miami. I mean, usually go to LA, Chicago, New Orleans, New York, for whatever reasons. But except for being in college, or whatever, going away, I mean, their intent it turned out that they all were. I don't say that if a young man came up introduced by my daughter and I said, where were you planning on living? And he's talking about Chicago, maybe I wasn't too enthusiastic. But actually, though, as it turned out, it was a blessing. It wasn't until 5, 6 years, 7 years ago that Debbie moved with her husband to, I think he became in charge of it, to Denver. But I mean, but they're so close and always love to be in each other's company, and that has helped create extra happiness in our life. So my suggestion is, have 4 children. God bless they all would live around there, and the cousins get to know each other, and the grandchildren get to know, and love each other, and celebrate many, many, many occasions, every occasion together.
We were very compatible, and we really loved each other and wanted to make each other happy. And that was like our number 1 goal on each side. And we loved to spend time together. We worked together 24 hours a day. We were together either
in real estate
with our family,
we made our
or
fortune
working
together.
So we worked together, and we had a lot of.
We had Rose Realty. We made investments. Jackie worked right alongside me. We agreed on
the rainbow.
Rainbow?
Oh,
it's a good one.
We always complimented each other, and he's always been a very loving, caring, and very kind and very thoughtful and wanting to help people. He's a very good person, good heart.
The fortunate thing was I appeared before the county commission as my own attorney 42 times.
We've always had a very exciting life, and it's been a wonderful adventure.
That's all you're saying?
So this is your recipe then?
My recipe is don't go to bed mad.
Okay.
Make up before you go to bed. Don't carry a grudge. Don't keep reliving something that you didn't like. Always accentuate the positive. And thank God for all the wonderful things that you have and blessings of God finding you your soulmate, your love of your life, being happy together, wonderful children, wonderful grandchildren. And always accentuate the positive.
Which seems like the third generation looks carrying the same genes.
And you notice they are very affectionate to each other and very loving to each other. And they're very kissing and hugging and saying, I love you. And they're very loving and lovable.
And this is you've been doing yourself for how many years?
We've celebrated our 57th wedding anniversary, both the elopement and the religious ceremony.
Now we just had
December 23rd.
This December 23rd, our 57th anniversary of our wedding. So it's catching up. But the wonderful thing is that so now we're probably going according to the regular wedding. 25 years after we had our religious ceremony, we had a reaffirmation of our marriage.
With our rabbi.
We hired a bus.
The same rabbi?
No.
No.
we hired a bus, went to an open park with a barbecue pits and everything, and with that bus full of close friends, we had a wonderful remarriage, and our vows were renewed by a rabbi.
Not only did the rabbi do a ceremony, but we each participated in saying something. Our children participated in something. And we went to Matson Hammock, which is a beautiful park with big trees, and there was a natural hoopah that we were under. And then the food was catered by a health food store. So it was like a hippie marriage. We had health food, and then we hired an Israeli man. We went from that park to another park that was on the bay, directly on the bay, and we did Israeli dancing with the Israeli dancing teacher. So it was just a special event.
And especially in that park, there were these two arched trees that just happened to arch over each other, and we got married under it as if we were under a
I said it, I hope, but that was at Matson Hammock.
At Matson Hammock.
The second park was Alice Wainwright Park.
Yes, yes.
Where we had a roofed over shelter, so we were protected.
But Jackie is the reason why, carrying on, she has really taught me I'm so proud of her. And she says she's proud of me. And we each just have learned, let's try a little harder and give 150% instead of 100% to each thing, and because our happiness through all these years has been wonderful.
Did you have to compromise quite a bit in order to make that kind of
You mean of what we believed in?
That harmony, to accomplish that harmony?
Well, I was more a driver and this and that than Jackie, and she taught me to mellow down as far as that situation. She probably has helped that part a great deal. She has proved to me that, just take it easy. And I was always a driver, determined and this and that, and she just showed me that her course as she was going, and I followed her course now, much more, and it's just a blessed life. I'm so proud of my wife. I'm so proud of my 4 daughters. I mean, I was tough on them, and I was always upset that that women were not getting the same pay, and I just wanted them to be successful if they wanted to. And oh, daddies, oh, daddy, oh, daddy. And then when they had children, their grandchildren, they were right on them anyway. They wanted them to really always try their best and do something with your life and accomplish something and let there be a memory of your life that you have pushed to have and be happy and successful and joyful. And that has just been everything.
Another part of our life is that we joined a temple. We've been members there almost 50 years. We go to temple often. And I think that's been a part.
On Friday nights.
On Friday nights. It's a Reformed temple, but it's become more traditional. And I would say we go there 2 or 3 times a month and for the holidays. And it's a part of our life. Our children all have gone there. They had their bar mitzvahs, they had the confirmations, and a lot of our daughters were wedded by the rabbi, Rabbi Herb Albegard.
So most of your friends are from that temple as well?
A lot of our friends are from the temple, and I have friends I went to school with from the time I'm 13. I have friends that are 63 years my friends.
Wow, that's great.
We have a lot of friends from temple too. And we also have a Havurah. We have a group that gets together. It used
Former
to be
members of the board of directors or leaders of our temple that went on a retreat one summer. And all of a sudden we said, hey, you know, we seem to blend together. Let's form a club.
a Havurah.
A Havurah. And how many years ago was that?
I don't know, it's like 40 years ago.
35, 40 years ago. And about 35 years ago. And you are the host for one day a month for the dinner at your home or whatever, and the subject has to be something Jewish. And as long as it's something Jewish, it could be humor, it could be anything to do with religion, it could be in any way. And through these years, each one has been a tremendous variety of Jewish subjects, and it's still going on.